What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look and listen to Nikki Haley. She's going to be talking about Social Security reform, raising that full retirement age. Does she support it? And if so, what age does he support? So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification, clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter and Threads, you can at the TEC Show Live. Okay, so let's go ahead and get over to this. And now I did Chris Christie. I showed his response. This was the debate from yesterday. And so if you didn't catch that video, you can catch it. It'll be right up here. There'll be a link to it so you can click it after you watch this video. But we're going to listen to Nikki Haley, and then we're going to listen to the other candidates. There were 5 candidates in the debate, and they all answered this question. Some of them answered it a lot better than others. And so we'll go ahead and take a look and listen to Nikki Haley. Here we go.
Let me have you weigh in on this, because you said in June that you would be open to raising the retirement age. Have you determined what that age would be specifically, and what other reforms are you looking at?
So first of all, any candidate that tells you that they're not going to take on entitlements is not being serious. Social Security will go bankrupt in 10 years. Medicare will go bankrupt in 8. Right now you have Ron and Trump.
Okay, so we got to stop already. Okay? She's talking about programs going bankrupt. If a program goes bankrupt, the program is done with. So she's talking about Social Security goes bankrupt in 10 years. Medicare goes bankrupt in 8. We know, if you guys have been watching my channel, I continue to go over this every time I hear a lawmaker say this. Every time they say this, I have to correct them, because I want you, the viewers, to understand what's going on when it comes to Social Security. Social Security is not going bankrupt. Medicare is not going bankrupt. The trust funds are going bankrupt, but the program itself will still be around. Social Security will still be around because of the payroll tax. People who are working right now, they're paying into the FICA tax, the payroll tax. That money is going to the Social Security Administration. That's enough money right now to cover about 77% of Social Security benefits. But what they're doing is, we have a trust fund. So just think of it as savings. We have money in savings. They're pulling about 23% from savings right now in order to pay out Social Security benefits at 100%. And so eventually, because it's just money in savings, eventually that money will run out. And when that money runs out, the trust fund will be bankrupt. However, Social Security will still be around. Medicare is a very similar situation where you have a trust fund. They're drawing from that trust fund. So it's going to be the same situation where these programs are still going to be there and you're still going to be receiving benefits. The only thing is they need to reform Social Security, because if they don't do anything with Social Security and Medicare right now, then Social Security is going to see a 23% cut in benefits, because that savings, that trust fund, will no longer be there. And so that's what the talk is right now. But lawmakers, politicians, when they come out, they're always talking about Social Security is going bankrupt. The danger with saying that is, if you convince the American people that Social Security will be going bankrupt in 10 years, what do you think the American people are going to say? They're going to say, well, let's do away with it. Why are we paying a payroll tax if this program is going to no longer be there in 10 years? And that is very, very dangerous. And there are a lot of politicians out there that are using this and saying that it's going bankrupt when it's not going bankrupt. It will not be completely gone. And that's something that's very, very important, because I think if you were to ask the American people, raise my payroll tax up 1%, I'm okay with that. If we can secure the program for another 75 years, you can go ahead and do that. Most people would be on board for that. But if you're telling them that the program is going bankrupt, they're going to say, I don't want to invest any more money in my payroll. I shouldn't be paying the 6.2% that I'm paying now. Why am I paying that if I'm not going to be able to receive Social Security when I retire? I know if you guys have been watching me for a while, you've heard me say this over and over again, but it's very, very important for the new viewers, people who haven't been watching me and they haven't heard this before. These politicians are not being honest with you when they say this. Okay, let's get back to it.
joining Biden and Pelosi saying they're not going to change or do any sort of entitlement reform. What we need to do is keep our promises. Those that have been promised should keep it. But for like my kids in their 20s, you go and you say we're going to change the rules. You change the retirement age for them. Instead of cost of living increases, we should go to increases based on inflation. We should limit.
Okay, so she's saying something else that's wrong there. When it comes to the cost of living adjustment, it is based on inflation. It's based on the CPIW. She should know this, but she's saying that anyway, based on inflation. Okay, that is the metric that is used. Now, I'm sure they're prepping for these debates, and they should be prepping Social Security. That should be one of the questions that they're answering during their little prep session. So she should have this information. She should know that COLA is tied to inflation, but apparently she's not aware of that.
Limit benefits on the wealthy. Bernie Marcus can tell you he hates getting that check. Limit the benefits on the wealthy, and then expand Medicare Advantage plans. Seniors love that, and let's make sure we do that so that they can have more competition. That's how we'll deal with entitlement reform, and that's how we'll start to pay down this debt.
And can you give me a specific age? Have you determined the age?
Again, you have to work with Chris. What I can tell you is it's going to be those in their 20s just coming into the system, and it should reflect more of life expectancy. It doesn't do that now.
All right, Mr. Ramos.
Okay, so she said a lot there. She said a lot of stuff that was just wrong. She said raise the full retirement age. Obviously, she's not going to give us a number, so she's not going to let us know. Is it 69? Is it 70? Like I said, when it comes down to the research that they're doing prior to debates, they should have more research. They should be able to say, you know what, if you raise it to 69, we would be able to see savings of this amount of money or whatever. You know, they should be doing this. They should be doing the research, and they're just not. And so pretty much everything that she said about Social Security was wrong. Everything. Just like I said, the cost of living tied to inflation, yes, it is. When it comes to the raising of full retirement age, she should have had an answer for that. When it comes to the means testing of Social Security, that's something that they could look into. So people who are making more, they won't get as much back. And then you kind of offset that with people who are not receiving that much in benefits. Their benefits would go up a little bit. And people who don't really need the benefits, their benefits would go down a little bit. That's been talked about. You have Republicans that are talking about the whole means testing. I don't know exactly how that would work out, and they're not giving us any details, obviously. And they're not being specific about anything, and it really bothers me that they won't even tell me an age. Like, okay, 69, 70, give us something. So we kind of can anticipate this. Now, she's saying it's going to be for people who are in their 20s. Now, when we're looking at it as far as reforming Social Security, if you're talking about people in their 20s, what are we going to, because the people in their 20s, they're not going to be retiring for another 40, 45 years. So what are we going to do right now? Because 10 years, we know the trust fund run out of money. So we're talking about people in their 20s. Really, how much money are you going to be saving for these programs if we're going to have to wait 47 years in order to see, if someone's 20, they're going to be waiting 47 years in order to really see the cost savings there. So something needs to be done right now. And in the video that we showed before, I talked about it. You have to raise taxes. It's inevitable. It has to happen. And so these politicians are trying to tiptoe around that, but that's the reality. That's what needs to happen. Raising that full retirement age is not going to be enough. And it's just sad that we don't have leaders. We need leaders running for president. We need people that are out there saying we're not going to touch Social Security, and we're going to provide some type of an increase for Social Security. And this is how we're going to do it. We are going to tax people a little bit more on their payroll tax, and we're going to raise that cap. So people who are wealthy, they're going to continue to have to pay into the payroll tax. Right now, anyone making over $160,200, they no longer have to pay into the payroll tax. They need to change that. And if you explain to the American people why you're doing this, I think most people would understand and say, yes, I want my Social Security when I retire. I don't want to have to wait a few extra years. So this makes sense to me. You can raise my taxes up 1%. I don't mind. I'm not going to really see that difference. And it will help me when I really need it the most, when I'm retired. So I want to know what you guys think about Nikki Haley's response, so let me know down below. We'll be doing another video, so make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell notification. And stay tuned for the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.